What's up guys, it's Tommy here and it looks like Liverpool want to sign Victor Osimhen because Victor Osimhen has given the green light to a move to Liverpool, and it's great news for Michael Edwards. And Liverpool wanted to sign Victor Osimhen in January. The deal collapsed only because of minor details, and in that scenario, had Liverpool signed Osimhen in January, we would have sold Darwin Núñez to Saudi Arabia. So that double transfer could happen this summer, and you will get all the details in this video. And we will also look at Victor Osimhen's profile. I will analyze his attacking metrics and how he would fit into Arne Slot's playing style. But judging by his numbers, he's an absolutely world-class player, and Napoli will want to sell him no matter what, and English clubs are favorites to sign him. And the Anfield Watch news outlet has exclusively revealed that Osimhen was a player that Liverpool had identified as an option to replace Darwin Núñez, and even in January the deal almost happened, and now it looks like Osimhen has given the green lights to a Liverpool move. Of course, Saudi Pro League clubs want to sign Victor Osimhen, but he's not retiring to the Saudi League just yet, because he decided he wants to move to the Premier League. This pretty much gives Liverpool the green light to make a move for Victor Osimhen. And Michael Edwards in particular will be very happy about this, because he has been pursuing Victor Osimhen for quite some time. However, of course, it won't be an easy deal to pull off, because Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United are all interested in Osimhen. In the race to sign him, the key for Liverpool might just be that their interest goes back even to January, because there was previous contact between the two parties made, and that has been stretching back for quite a few years. And Osimhen has a release clause of 75 million euros, but Napoli would be willing to sell him for as low as 60 million euros, as long as they get some money for him, because they want to get rid of Osimhen and they want to strengthen their team. And Napoli could win the Serie A title this season without Osimhen. They signed Lukaku, and he has been an absolutely brilliant striker for them. But for 50 million pounds to sign a world-class attacker like Osimhen would be an absolute bargain. When you consider that Alexander Isak is worth 120 million, and Osimhen could even outscore Isak in the Premier League. He's that good. And the fact that Osimhen is keen on a move to the Premier League gives Liverpool an even better chance. And in Napoli, Osimhen scored 76 goals in 133 games, and he helped Napoli win their first title since the 80s, since Diego Maradona. And according to Sky Sports, Osimhen is one of the strikers that Liverpool are considering to replace Darwin Núñez. And the fact that Alexander Isak is priced at 150 million and Osimhen is available for like 64 million pounds, that is just absolutely crazy that his release clause is that low. And I mean, even Ekitike is rumored to be available for 80 million pounds. I mean, the transfer market is crazy when it comes to talented, great strikers. So getting Osimhen for 64 million pounds, I think, is much better valued for money than obviously getting Isak for twice as much, or getting Ekitike for 80 million. And actually, Liverpool were almost 24 hours away from signing Osimhen in January. So let's reveal those details. The only thing that stopped the transfer was the fact that he couldn't sort out the loyalty payments that Napoli owed him, because the wage demands wasn't a problem, or the agent, or Napoli wanted to do a deal, but it looks like this internal financial tussle between Napoli and Osimhen stopped Liverpool making the deal official, and that makes this a classic nearly scenario, but a scenario that could be revived in the summer. There was a lot of talk over Osimhen's wages being £500,000 per week, but it wasn't that. It was well within Liverpool's wage structure. Osimhen's wage demands, and Liverpool's transfer strategy was very interesting in January, that we kept our powder dry. But we wanted to make moves in January, but in the end those moves collapsed, and hopefully we can revive this transfer in the summer transfer window. Perhaps the most eye-opening detail that was revealed by Davis is that Darwin Núñez missed the PSV game in the Champions League because he was finalizing a deal with Saudi club because Osimhen was coming in. Al Nassr were reportedly ready to pay £70 million for Núñez, and he was supposed to leave. It paints a different picture of Liverpool's January strategy, because that is a pretty bold, aggressive move to refresh the front line in January in the middle of the title challenge. But I think it worked out fine because Liverpool won the title anyway. But I think if Osimhen is in the squad for the Paris Saint-Germain games, maybe Liverpool could have knocked out PSG, because we desperately missed the striker who takes the chances and who puts those away. Salah had a cold couple of games against PSG, and that was the difference between Liverpool going through and Liverpool getting knocked out. And this wasn't just a rumored flirtation with Osimhen, it was a near deal, so close to completion that Liverpool's squad planning was already in motion. So we can't rule this out happening in the summer, because Liverpool were 24 hours away from completing a deal for Osimhen, and the price could be even lower. If Alexander Isak is going to cost 120 million, then would you not rather look at someone like Osimhen for around 60-65 million pounds? That's literally his release clause. 75 million euros is 64-65 million pounds. That's much better value than Alexander Isak. He is a proven elite striker with the physicality and movement that Arne Slot's high-tempo style thrives on. And of course, there has been huge question marks over Darwin Núñez's consistency. Osimhen's goal record speaks for itself. So the final verdict is, don't rule it out. All of this stuff comes out eventually. I wouldn't be saying it if I hadn't verified it multiple times, Davis said. That kind of journalistic conviction adds weight to what might otherwise be dismissed as just transfer talk. So I really hope that you guys appreciate me giving you these news, because look at Osimhen's numbers. Of course, the Turkish league is not as strong as the other leagues, but he scored 18 goals and 5 assists in Lille. And then he scored 10 goals in his first season at Napoli, 18 goals in his second season, 31 goals and 5 assists in the title-winning season for Napoli. And then in his last season in Napoli, he still scored 17 goals and got 3 assists. So he's a 20-25 goal a season striker, comfortably, on average. And I mean, Liverpool creates so many chances that if Osimhen plays most of the games as a starter, he would easily get 20-25 goals in all competitions, maybe even 30 goals, because for Galatasaray, in just 36 games, he has 38 goal contributions, 31 goals and 7 assists. Absolutely crazy. And as you can see, Galatasaray is banging in the goals. He scored 2, 3, 4, 5 goals and got 2 assists in his last 5 games. Absolutely sensational goal contribution. And let's explore how Osimhen fits into Liverpool's attack. Pace, power and goal scoring instincts. Osimhen ticks several boxes and he fits into Arne Slot's playing style. We need pace in our attack this summer. There is no two ways about it. And Osimhen is a physical specimen. He's big forward, he's rapid, really fast, and he has the pressing ability, the physicality, the transition threat. Liverpool were happy to have Mane and Salah go to AFCON. Osimhen being from Nigeria, that's not a big concern, because without Salah and Osimhen, Liverpool would still have Jota, we would still have Chiesa, Gakpo, Luis Diaz, so we can still solve those issues. Of course, that's a little bit of a downside to signing Osimhen, that he's another African player that we have to miss during Africa Cup of Nations. But there are not many elite level number 9s who are actually gettable, who you don't have to spend an absolute fortune signing. How far the needle moves for us is almost who replaces Darwin Núñez, and that will decide so much. Liverpool tried last summer to sign Osimhen, then they came back in January. So this has been a consistent interest from Liverpool for Victor Osimhen. And a credible Nigerian journalist has repeatedly referenced Liverpool's active interest And this is a guy, this Nigerian journalist, that knows Nigerian football inside out. So that reinforces the potential legitimacy of these Osimhen to Liverpool talks. So the conclusion is that Liverpool are still interested in Osimhen. And I think out of the strikers that are available, Šeško, Gyökeres, Ekitike, Alexander Isak, Julian Alvarez, the best value for money deal is Victor Osimhen. My second target would be Julian Alvarez, but he would cost 120 million pounds. And then Victor Gyökeres is maybe his transfer is a little bit lower. You know, it's going to be very, very interesting what Liverpool do in the summer transfer window. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that the expectation for Victor Osimhen is to leave Galatasaray and to leave Napoli as well. He goes back from his loan spell to Napoli, and Napoli want to sell the player ASAP because basically Osimhen and Napoli had a falling out, and that's why he went out on loan, because nobody could get a deal done over the line for Osimhen last summer. And Napoli want to find a solution by June. Osimhen will not continue with Galatasaray. Galatasaray just don't have that kind of money to sign Osimhen permanently, and he wouldn't want to go to the Turkish league permanently. So many clubs from England are interested, according to Fabrizio Romano. And Osimhen wants his salary guaranteed, but this is not a crazy salary of like £500,000 per week. It's much lower, so it fits into Liverpool's salary wage budget. And Liverpool's interest is actually going back many years in Victor Osimhen, with Michael Edwards a keen admirer of Osimhen since his first foray in European football in Belgium and then in Lille. In Belgium for Charleroi, he had a great season, scoring 20 goals. And Osimhen is currently on loan, but Napoli want to sell him. So we shall wait and see what happens. What do you think about this transfer deal? Would you want Osimhen to be a Liverpool player next season? I think he would be much better than Darwin Núñez. And he's actually probably the cheapest out of the elite strikers available in the summer transfer window. But, you know, Arsenal want a striker, Chelsea want a striker, Man United want a striker, so there will be a lot of clubs lining up for Osimhen. But if Liverpool are really serious about this, then Liverpool is the best destination for Osimhen. So let's make it happen. And also, very interesting, Dan Abrams, who is a psychologist. He has worked in football for more than 20 years, and he also worked at Feyenoord. And he said, my experience of Arne Slot is he's somebody who hits the sweet spot between being open-minded and being closed-minded. He's going to be curious about what you have got to say, and if you are able to convince him about the ideas that you've got, he will probably implement them. He's thoughtful, he's a strong communicator, and he's able to deliver with energy. I think when coaches have the ability to engage players through the rhythm of their voice, the tone of their voice, as well as the contents, that's a great way to be able to influence others. Whenever I was listening to Arne Slot addressing the players, I always felt that he was somebody who could influence. Not all head coaches can do that. So that was something that really shone through. That was a real skill that he was able to exploit, influence his players, make a difference to their performance on the pitch. His knowledge is deep and broad. He has a passion for the tactical side of the game. If he's critiquing them, he's still offering instruction, he's still offering energy, and that combination can really create an injection of confidence in players. I think that's quite a powerful cocktail and combination, and I think that's coming from a guy who worked with Arne Slot, that's great insight into his thinking. And Don Hutchinson, former Liverpool and Everton midfielder, has said something interesting about Arne Slot's debut Premier League winning season. He said, we have seen how Arsenal struggled after Arsene Wenger, how Man United struggled after Sir Alex Ferguson. It's impossible to try and take over. And he has just calmly walked into Liverpool. He has done it his way off the back of Jurgen, leaving a brilliant squad behind. It's a 10 out of 10 job if you have won the title in your first year. And I agree. I don't really subscribe when people say, well, they could have won the quadruple. No one's ever done it. Liverpool have been in that race for the last 3 or 4 seasons, and it's impossible to do. The games against PSG were brilliant games to watch. After watching their game against Aston Villa, Liverpool came out of that PSG game at Anfield with a lot of credit. They are a top-class side, PSG. The Plymouth one will probably worry or like bother Arne Slot a little bit, because he still picked the side that was good enough to beat Plymouth, but I understood he was trying to rest players for Champions League football, so it was a dilemma. And yeah, I agree, but I still think this is a 10 out of 10 season for Arne Slot. Any season where Liverpool win the Premier League, it's a 10 out of 10 season, and I don't mind not winning the FA Cup, the Champions League, the League Cup. The League Cup final hurt, but winning the Champions League winning the Premier League more than makes up for it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you will have a great Saturday. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.